Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos al módulo 4. Um, I've been enjoying listening to your oral exams. It's really nice to hear you uh, will get better at Spanish, and I can see a big difference. Bueno, chicos, módulo 4, as you already saw, has to do with el consultorio, okay? Everything that has to do with the doctors and all these things, which is a really important chapter, right? If you're studying abroad, or you're planning to just visit a Spanish-speaking country, sometimes we get sick, right? And it's really nice to have this vocab and know how to explain things, right? Um, Other than of the obvious, right? To be able to communicate with people, talking about your experience as a child and all these things, right? For this module, you are going to be doing the same three things, right? You have the VHL homework, the module exam that is also in VHL, which is for Lección 10, and I will be releasing it on Friday the 29th, okay, at 8 a.m. as always. And then the Canvas assignment, which in this case, you have to do a brochure, okay? And it's one brochure by student, right? You're going to be working on it with a partner, but the final project, right? The final thing that you turn in is yours, okay? So you will be working with a partner to talk about the list of things that you need to like the best practices to stay healthy, right? When you're traveling abroad, okay? And I thought this activity was going to be really cool for that, right? For that idea of what to do if you're abroad and to stay healthy, right? That's one of my main concerns when I go on trips, right? You're not in your same country. You don't know how things work, so this is a good way to avoid going to the doctors, right? But if you go to the doctors, you'll have a little bit of the vocab, right? Um, in this lección, the grammar structures that you're going to see is the imperfect, and then you're going to see the preterite versus the imperfect, okay? An important thing, so you'll see that the conjugations of imperfect are easier than the preterite because there are not a lot of irregularities, right? But you will see that AR verbs have the aba queen endings, right? I call them, so aba, yo aba, like yo jugaba, tú jugabas, él jugaba. And then the ia for ER and IR verbs, right? Yo comía, tú comías, él comía. Try to think about the imperfect as a thing that you're talking about the past, but you're giving a little more information than the preterite. The preterite, you're just saying this action happened in the past, ended or started in the past. The imperfect gives you a lot of more information. Okay, so it could be saying that it's something that was ongoing, something that you habitually did in the past. So you're not just saying that that action happened, but that it was happening and for a certain period of time, right? You don't say when it started or ended, okay? So that's a one of the big differences with the preterite, okay? And I like to give an example about like, for example, when you have a headache, that would be imperfect, right? You have a headache during the day, right? And so it's an ongoing thing. So that's the imperfect, okay? And in English, it's like I ran instead of I was running. I was running would be the imperfect, right? And then I ran would be like the preterite, right? I was running, you're saying during a period of time I was doing this, right? Um, so that's an important thing. And then perfect. Also, you talk about how things were as a child, right? As a child, I would eat McDonald's every Sunday or something like that. So habitual things, okay, in the past. Um, then you have another thing that is new, which is constructions with se. Okay, constructions with se is you're going to see constructions with se, um, especially with unplanned events. Okay, so the unplanned events is something that obviously you don't plan, right? When you drop something, we don't have a direct translation as like I dropped my computer, okay? So we use these structures, and you need the se, right? And then the indirect object pronoun that's going to tell us who dropped, who did, whose car broke, right? And then the verb, okay? The verb is going to be singular or plural, similar to verbs like gustar, okay? So, for example, se me cayó la pluma, se me cayeron las plumas, okay? And then the subject, so it's kind of inversed, like as in and the verbs like gustar, right? So the subject would be the thing that you dropped, okay? So por ejemplo, se me cayó la pluma, se me cayeron las plumas. The verb is agreeing with the thing that fell and not with the person that dropped it, right? Um, so that's a very important thing to learn. And remember, unplanned events, you're not planning them, so you're talking about something that happened in the past, okay? So they already happened. Other constructions with say are impersonal constructions where you don't really uh, you don't know who the subject is, right? The person performing the action. It's not defined, okay? So you're just you just use the se and then the verb, and the verb also agrees with the thing. So, for example, se habla español en México, se necesitan medicinas, okay? Se habla español en México, you're saying Spanish is spoken in Mexico, but you're not specifying who you're talking about. Everybody speaks Spanish or just a few people. So that's where the impersonal comes from, right? Because you're not specifying who exactly is doing that, okay? And the same thing, you use the third person in singular and the third person in plural, okay, to do these conjugations, okay? Um, you use these a lot when you are looking for somebody, like in the newspaper, in the ads, okay? So you see those a lot. Se busca diseñador gráfico, okay? Obviously, it's a company that's looking for the graphic designer, but we use that impersonal the constructions, okay, a lot. Okay, then another thing that you're going to see during this module is the adverbs, okay? The adverbs tell you how a verb is done, right? If it's slowly, if it's well, if it's bad. So the adjectives describe the thing, right? And then the adverbs describe the verb, right? And so some of them that you've seen is bien, mal, temprano, okay? Me despierto temprano, estoy bien, okay? So they are describing the verbs. But then there are other ones, other adverbs that you create using adding mente to the feminine form of the adjective. So for example, if you have um, seguro, you make the feminine, so it's segura, and then you add mente, so it's seguramente, okay, one word. And then there are some adjectives that don't have a masculine and feminine form, like fácil, and then you just use fácil and then add the mente, fácilmente. Okay, so if it has a feminine form, you change it to feminine form and you add mente. If there isn't a feminine form, then you just put mente to it. Okay. There are other adverbs that are not created by the mente thing. So you have a menudo, a tiempo, a veces, sometimes, right? Con frecuencia, frequently, de vez en cuando, from time to time. Check those on the box that you see on the PowerPoint. They are very common, okay? These are very common adverbs, right? And so that's all for this chapter, this lección, okay, this module, Módulo 4. If you have questions, please let me know. Oh, and something that I wanted to tell you again, Canvas. So for the Canvas assignment, you can use by now you know a lot of the students, and sometimes we find somebody we work well with. You can choose this person to finish all the Canvas assignments, or you can find somebody new. Okay, so it's up to you. Bueno, chicos, espero que tengan buena semana y nos vemos pronto. Hasta luego.